All right, gang, let's review Day of Days turn 4. I tell you what, moving all these counters is a task. Can't wait to see what happens during the breakout. All right, let's look at the casualties. So, as you can see, the Allies are starting to flex their might. They've taken a few too, mostly commando stuff. Commandos and some of the para. Some of the German strong points. A lot of the initial coastal forces are knocked out. A couple of the oncoming Panzer units are from one of the Panzer forces. All right, so now I'm going to back up, look at the whole map, because you can see that the Germans have pretty much brought everything forward. All right. Now they do have massive stacks of reinforcements, and I don't have all the Allied reinforcements on the tracks yet. But I'll get them on there as I go. But that's all of the German ones that are going to come in, and it's quite a bit of stuff. All right, so we've cleared the back rows. Everybody's forward. This road march thing is really interesting. It sure does get troops to... And I got to think about this. Maybe the distance is, 1.5 or 2 miles or something like that across a hex. So, I don't know. 100 miles in 8 hours. I guess it can be done. Whatever it may be. All right, so anyhow, I would imagine that the next batch of German reinforcements are probably going to need to come and help with this over here. Although they're not bad. I figure it's probably smarter to stop the breakout here initially than to sweat this over here just yet. There's not a ton of exploit units where you can get them stacked so they can move. Plus, they're usually always engaged in combat or very close to it. So I'm hoping this will be a little easier to maintain defensively for the Germans. Although I think the next turn for the Allies, the combats are going to get a lot more aggressive over here. All right, so I'd have to say that the beach landings... I don't know, I'd say they're a success, but I also think the Germans have slowed them down. 4 turns, and they really haven't broken out too far, but I think from 1 through 4, I'm not sure you're expecting that anyhow. All right, so bringing a lot of the Panzer Grenadier and Panzer troops up, our Panzer units up in here, mostly Panzer Grenadier. And I decided, this is fixing to be a mess here, over here on Sword. But I decided, you know what? Now, I've not read, like I say, much of D-Day stuff, so I don't really know tons and tons about it. But I decided to bring these chaps that came as reinforcements, 21st Panzer. Let's go ahead and beat the hell out of British para. So we've overrun that DZ, so that's going to hurt supply for those guys that are over there, but they're already beaten up pretty bad anyhow. And some infantry guys that came in, brought them up in here. I tell you, road march gets them right up there next to combat, and then they get to move after the road march. So we're going to try to beat up on the pairs. Pegasus Bridge, I'm assuming, is right here. We beat down the one unit with those SS guys. So now we've got the bridgehead hex there. That'll be the next target, I'm sure. Unless British para can get up in there and chase them away. Or these guys can break out, and then that bridge, the Germans won't be able to contest that bridge much longer. I decided to pull these guys out of their strong points down here and start moving towards British para. I'm not sure which of the reinforcements. There's nothing but straight SS troops coming in on turn 5 for the Germans. I mean, every stack over there, is SS. So this ought to get real interesting real fast. Haven't seen British 7th Armored, I think it is. Comes on the battlefield. I'm not sure when. I got to do some digging through the reinforcement pool. The ships here are pretty much out of play. I think once I reach a certain point, I'm going to just go and get them off the board because I need to lay my arms somewhere when I'm picking up these counters. Okay. So you're starting to see the bubbles are starting to expand. Para is going to get into a fight for their life unless these guys break out over here and force 21st Panzer to readjust, because you don't want to give up Con. I mean, you don't want to give up any of these bridges across these rivers the way I'm looking at this. So because I don't know if there's enough. Well, I guess maybe there is enough victory points throughout the rest of the map for the Allies to get a win. And I'm pretty sure Cobra ended up, striking from way over in that direction somewhere and started sweeping up, which caused the Germans later after D-Day to have to start to withdraw or get cut off, which I think a bunch of them did get cut off, didn't they? Wasn't it like 15th Army or something? Somebody got cut off. All right, so we're going to start to push here on this next turn with the Allies, try to break out of these pockets, start to get some more massed attacks in here. You got a couple places where some troops have pushed up. We had a one out of supply fortress over here in that hole right there. They ended up surrendering. The rest of them stood their ground. A couple more went into an out of supply state right in here. There's nowhere they can trace to. Other than that, most of the German units are fine. No Allied units yet that are out of supply. Kind of hard to really get in there and dig and look right now. But like I said, with the supply rules, it's zone of controls do negate enemy zones of controls for supply. So, and they don't have to be in the hex. Just the enemy and the friendly can both share zone of control in a hex, and you can trace supply through it from either side. And like I said, you got to trace to a road, and then the road's got to lead to a supply source. Also for the beaches, once you've already moved up off the beaches and all that stuff's secure, you like right here in these hexes, they tell you to assume that there's a road that connects the beach to the main roads along the coast. So you just assume there's a road right there. All right, let's get after turn 5 and we'll after action after that. All right, if y'all like this stuff, hey, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, hit the little notify bell, and you'll see every time I pop one of these videos up on there for a review or a session. All right, talk to y'all soon.